Welcome back to Sistory History Series 4, Episode 3, Keep in Touch.
Nowadays, mobile phones mean that most of us can communicate with friends and family instantly. Letters and parcels too are easily sent all over the world through a reliable, mostly, postal network. What did the Romans do though? What were the options for getting a message to someone? Yes, there were messengers for hire, or you could send a servant across the city with a sealed wax tablet if you wanted some privacy. But what about communication over long distances? You might be surprised to learn that Rome operated a state postal service, which was essential in keeping the sprawling empire running. Called the cursus publicus, it was mainly used for military and governmental correspondence, and you needed a special pass to use it, but the process itself was pretty similar to the modern day. Instead of using mail trucks and planes, though, the cursus publicus used horses and riders for urgent mail, or carriages and wagons for regular messages and cargo. A network of relay stations spread out along the roads, every 8 Roman miles, mutationes for changing horses, and then larger mansiones or relay houses every 30 Roman miles, and these offered food, rest and stables. A letter from Rome to Athens could arrive in a week using the cursus publicus, but for your regular person on the street with no access to this network, it was more likely to take a month. And you'd have to try your luck with merchants or even travellers who just might be heading in that direction.
Our sources today, Laura. I have an inkling that they are all quite good at keeping in touch. Who do we have?
We have Pliny the Younger.
Yeah.
Wrote a lot of letters that shine a light on Roman admin and everyday life.
Yeah, your boyfriend.
Yeah, I love a bit of admin. Also, he was a lawyer, a magistrate and an author, so many strings to that bow. Writing in the 1st century CE, and incidentally the nephew of Pliny the Elder. We also have Polybius, who's a Greek historian, but he lived in Rome, so he does count as a contemporary Roman source. And in fact, he originally went there as a war hostage. Interesting fact. And he was writing in the 2nd century BCE. And finally, we have Marcus Tullius Cicero, famous Roman orator, philosopher, writer and politician. He served as consul in 63 BC, which you might recall from our previous episodes. Writing in the 1st century BCE, and fun fact, the family name Cicero comes from the Latin word for chickpea.
I like that.
And we are using Cicero twice today.
We've got double Cicero.
Double Cicero, correct.
That's very apt because we've got surviving about 900 of Cicero's letters.
Is it that many?
So he was a prolific letter writer.
He really was. Do you think they were good ones though? Some. Caroline, would you like to go first today?
I would love to go first. And actually, talking about prolific letter writers, we've got Pliny.
Yay.
He wrote a lot of letters. Not quite as many survive as we have of Cicero's, but he's still up there, very active. This is one of many letters that Pliny wrote to his, I presume, long-suffering friend, Fuscus. And I would like you to think about sound with this particular extract.
I will.
This is Pliny the Younger, letters 9.36 to Fuscus. You asked me how I spend the day at my Tuscan villa in the summer. Well, I wake when I like, usually about the 1st hour, though it is often before and rarely later. The windows remain shuttered, for it is remarkable how in the silence and darkness, withdrawn from distractions, I am left to myself and free. My thoughts are not led by my eyes, and so I see my thoughts with my mind's eye. I think about whatever I'm working on and weigh every word as carefully as though I were actually writing or revising. I call for a shorthand writer, and opening the shutters, I dictate the passages which I have composed in my mind. He leaves, I call him back, and once again I dismiss him. At the 4th or 5th hour, I take myself to the terrace or covered portico, and there again I resume my thinking and dictating. I ride in my carriage and continue in this manner, just as when I am walking or lying down. Then I snatch a brief sleep and have a walk, and afterwards read aloud a Greek or Latin speech, as clearly and distinctly as I can, not so much to exercise the vocal organs, but to help my digestion, though it does at the same time strengthen my voice. I take another walk, Then I am anointed and take exercise and a bath. While I am at dinner, if I am dining with my wife or a few friends, a book is read to us, and afterwards we hear a comic actor or a musician.
Do we think that Fuscus wanted this much detail?
I do wonder if Fuscus actually did ask. Or whether
At this hour I did this, and this hour I did this.
I wonder if they're really scraping the barrel of conversation at this point.
Yeah.
All right, just tell me what you did today.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, we start with silence.
We do.
The absence of sound. Pliny wakes up around dawn and starts to visualise writing in his head. In the quiet of his room, no distractions. Lovely. He then breaks that silence and calls out for his shorthand writer. Now, practically speaking, I was thinking about this because that must mean he either has somebody in the room with him who is not mentioned, or there's somebody hovering outside.
At dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't want that job.
Having to stay really quiet.
Just in case he wakes up.
Just in case. And he wants the silence, doesn't he, while he thinks about the words.
Yeah.
So you're loitering around the door. Otherwise, how would they have heard him? Right? So you can imagine the whole household creeping round, not wanting to disturb Pliny. The poor slave, the secretary man, then is sent in and out of the room several times.
Yes, we get the painful detail of that. Sent him in, then I sent him out.
Too much. He's then got to loiter outside each time quietly and wait to be called in again because he knows it's going to happen, let's be honest.
He knows it's coming.
And what we hear during all this time is Pliny's voice, calling out, giving dictation, again, ad nauseum. And if you remember in our household slaves episode from series 1, we spoke about giving dictation for composing letters and other works and how it was incredibly common for the elite to do such things.
Yes.
And we talked about how some slaves would almost become physical extensions of their dominus or domina in this capacity. In this scenario, Pliny has the luxury of being able to write via dictation while he's in bed, later when he's walking around, and then afterwards when he's in his carriage. So all through the day, we have Pliny's voice dominating the soundscape, giving dictation. And to Fuscus, he's claiming all of this work as his own. This is an incredibly productive day for Pliny. He's working pretty much constantly, but he would never be able to achieve that same level of output were it not for these unnamed slaves taking down the dictation, following him around, tiptoeing around the house.
Being at his beck and call from dawn.
Exactly. This goes both ways. Sound goes both ways because secretarial slaves would also read received letters aloud, or in general, when people were reading to themselves, they would do it out loud. So it must have been quite annoying, like somebody watching YouTube videos on their phone on the train with no headphones on. You just think to yourself, Pliny.
Internalise.
And in this extract we see Pliny in the afternoon reading out loud a lovely Greek or Latin speech to help his digestion.
Would that help your digestion?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe if he's walking around while doing it, but then it's the walking around that's helping his digestion.
I mean, he must get this from somewhere. It seems to work for him. But in general, Rome was a very oral culture. I will say, though, Laura, you get some people who say listening to books isn't as good as reading them, physically reading them. Try telling that to the Romans. Pliny has a book read to him at dinner. Very nice. And afterwards, the comic actor or musician performs, kind of like the ancient equivalent of having the telly on during the dinner.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So, the day that began in silence ends in music. Very nice.
Oh, that's a lovely saying.
But the key thing is that Pliny has controlled all of the sounds in that house throughout the whole day.
Dictator.
He's a dictator, basically. And do you want a fun fact to finish?
I do.
Yeah. So people who were illiterate or perhaps blind, they could go and see mobile scribes.
Ooh.
So these people were probably hanging out in the forum, something like that, and they could write a letter on this person's behalf, or even read a letter that they'd
nice.
received that they couldn't read themselves.
Oh, scribe for hire.
Scribe for hire.
I like it.
There you go.
Oh, very good, thank you.
So you are going to give us a bit of Cicero.
I am.
Marcus Tullius.
Marcus Tullius, yes. And unlike Pliny, it's very short and sweet.
Okay.
This is Cicero, one of his letters to Atticus.
His friend.
His very good friend, yes, to whom he wrote a lot. And this is Ad Atticum 13.40, and it's written in 46 BC. And I'd like you to consider taste. Feed the letter carriers well, so that they return to me as soon as possible.
Oh wow, that is short.
Yeah.
Is that all the letter said?
It's the relevant
It was
part
a bit
that
of
I
the
chose
letter.
to pull out.
Okay.
So there's no messing around here.
It really isn't.
No. It's interesting though, as it's equating provision of food to the performance of the task at hand, which makes complete sense, but it's not something I'd thought about before.
No.
And I bet lots and lots of Romans, especially the more sort of arrogant elite ones, wouldn't have even bothered.
Thinking about that.
Yeah,
kind of
thinking
thing.
about the messenger or the employee's comfort.
And well-being. It does show how important the messengers were.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that Cicero is saying, so that they return to me as soon as possible, he's totally understanding that actually the better we treat our messengers, we feed them, we water them, then they're going to hurry back, they're going to be in the best state possible to complete the task. Now, I didn't read all 900 letters.
No.
But in my very cursory review of what was available from Cicero, I found at least 3 mentions of feeding messages.
Really?
Yeah. Either him feeding them or reminding the letter receiver to do so. And on one occasion, he even mentions that he dined with his friend Atticus's messenger.
Right, okay.
So that's not just giving him a sandwich, that's saying,
Come
sit
join
down
me.
at my table. Well, at my couch. So that seems above and beyond requirements. But Atticus was a very close friend, and they wrote often, so maybe he actually knew the messenger really well.
I really like that. I've never even considered that and never noticed that in any letters.
It really does highlight the idea of common courtesy. And actually, for whatever we may make fun of Cicero, he does seem to have held that principle, courtesy and respecting people. He does seem to have held that principle in quite high regard. He doesn't treat people badly.
Being cynical, though, is he just making sure that the workhorse is fed?
He gets what he wants.
He gets what he wants.
Quite possibly.
Sending letters is really important to him, so he's got to keep these people in top physical nick.
But there are alternative ways of doing that. You know, you could be doing that by threats or force, or, you know, if it's your staff member.
Very good point. Yeah, well done.
So he's obviously realising that this perhaps is the best approach. But yeah, it's fair. We could take a cynical view on it also.
I'm not going to be cynical, though. I think I'm going to believe that he has good intentions at heart.
But consider the alternative. No one wants a hangry messenger.
Hangry?
No. So what could happen? If you imagine someone might be running back and forth between houses, and if we continue with the Cicero example, perhaps when he's consul or on the run-up, it's completely likely that he would be sending messengers to and from houses across Rome to other senators, supporters, etc. Now imagine you're the messenger going back and forth and not getting fed or watered. You're not going to be very happy about that.
That's true, especially if it's a hot day.
Yeah.
Running all over the city, up the hills.
Yeah, think back to Marshall.
Yeah. Oh God, he'd hate that job.
Absolutely. Maybe you remember the message wrong.
Yes.
Maybe you miss out something vital.
Oh, just to
spite.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe you change what's written on the wax tablet. Maybe you don't bother at all and hit the nearest taverna.
Or you just throw the wax tablet in the nearest bin and then go to the pub.
Absolutely. Bit of day drinking. So really, it does pay to treat your messengers with respect and courtesy, whether it's for your own benefit or not. You know, everyone wins, basically.
Nice.
Would you like to do your Cicero next?
I will, actually. And we've got another letter to Atticus.
Ah, what are the odds?
He would quite often write to Atticus before he would write to his wife. He really loved writing to Atticus.
Aww.
In this scenario, Cicero is in Asia Minor, so that's modern-day Turkey, during his time as governor, and he's writing to Atticus, who's back in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have Cicero, Letters to Atticus, 5:17. I have received a packet of letters from Rome without one from you, for which, granting you to be well and in Rome, I imagine the fault to be Philotimus and not yours. I dictate this letter sitting in my carriage on my way to the camp, from which I am 2 days' journey distant. In a few days' time I am going to have men on whom I can rely to take letters, so I will wait for that. However, I will just say, though I would prefer you hearing this from others, I am conducting myself so admirably in the province that not a penny is spent on anyone and everything is above board. My team work hard to maintain my standards of respectability and there is no bribery. But at present I'm in a hurry. I will write everything to you in full in a few days.
P.S. I'm excellent.
He just couldn't wait, could he, to tell Atticus how brilliantly he was doing. I want you to think about touch, please. Did I say that?
No.
Yeah. First of all, Cicero receives a packet of letters, a big bundle all in one go. And if we set aside the cursus publicus, although you could use it maybe a bit cheekily, you could always bribe someone, I guess, that if you wanted to access it. Most people had to rely on private couriers in one way or another to keep them in touch with people.
But I suppose if he's being governor in Asia Minor at the moment, he could legitimately use it, couldn't he?
He could, but he's writing to his friend in this instance.
That's true, yeah.
So understandably, instead of getting letters every day, you might receive a heap of them in one go.
Yeah.
If you had money, you could pay the travel expenses for one person to do the whole journey from start to finish for you. And in this example, that person is Philotimus, who is acting as courier, directly handing Cicero his letters from back in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Philotimus is one of the family's freedmen, so, quite trustworthy, I guess. Yeah. Although maybe not, because Cicero does make the comment, in a few days I'll have people I can rely on.
Yeah, he was a bit dismissive, wasn't he, as Philotimus?
It might be a little dig at Philotimus. Or maybe he means that there'll just be more people available.
Mm.
I think it was a dig.
Maybe he's
honestly.
in a bad mood. He sounds annoyed that Atticus hasn't written to him sooner.
Yes.
Or hasn't written to him at all.
Yes, he's very grumpy. There wasn't a letter from Atticus. We also hear elsewhere, though, about Acastus, another of Cicero's couriers. And Cicero describes a trip of his to Athens where Acastus is waiting in the port for him and hands him a load of letters as he's actually getting off the boat. But with Cicero, we do get these couriers deliberately named in his letters, and I think that's to add another layer of security.
Oh.
To show that it hasn't fallen into the wrong hands or
like
something.
A paper trail, an audit trail.
Exactly. I've given this to Acastus, and if somebody else hands it to you, well, you're not Acastus.
Well, have you had a look at it?
Who are you?
Yeah.
But it's nice actually to get slaves and freedmen named quite often with Cicero, because that's a rarity.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, not everyone could afford their own courier. If you don't have the money, or there was simply nobody available, you might have to hand your letter to a passing merchant or traveller and hope for the best. We mentioned this at the top, didn't we? There is another time when his freedman Tyro was quite ill in Greece, and Cicero effectively says, I want to be updated as much as possible, so just send Acastus down to the docks every day with a letter and find any ship leaving for Rome and give it to anyone. So poor Acastus must have spent a lot of his time down at the docks, it would seem, waiting in various ports for either ships to arrive or ships to leave.
Nice that he was caring so much about Tyro.
Yeah, he really wanted to know how Tyro was faring. But in that scenario, you get hand-to-hand touch, don't you? A letter being passed along a chain of people and slowly wending its way towards its recipient.
You can almost see the physical trail of it, can't you?
Map
in
it
your
out
mind's eye.
in your mind. All right, Pliny. Cicero tells us that he's sitting in a carriage dictating this letter while they're travelling. Now, Cicero feels the need to point this out, I think, because normally he would personally handwrite all his letters to his BFF Atticus. And I think he wanted Atticus to know that there was nothing wrong. I'm not handwriting this particular letter to you, Atticus. Dictated letters are a bit more impersonal. And do you remember when we did our Roman army episode and you read out a birthday invitation from Vindolanda?
Yes.
Claudia...
Severa.
Yes, Severa.
Yes.
She was sending a birthday invitation to a friend. And that invite is mostly written by a scribe. But at the very end, Claudia adds in her own handwriting a little personal note, basically saying, please do come, it'd be lovely to see you.
Oh.
So that's adding a more personal touch.
Yeah.
In this situation, though, Cicero's in his carriage. It's just more practical to dictate. Because imagine you're being bumped around in a carriage, there's potholes, there's ink flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It's much easier for somebody to sit with a wax tablet and take shorthand.
Right, yes, that's true.
In that situation. And although he could have waited 2 days, he just couldn't wait and had to get Atticus this letter. Or should I say, a slave makes it possible for Cicero to shoot off this note to Atticus while he's in the carriage. Really invaluable. And that's Cicero. Hopefully he's finished with his letter writing for now.
We don't need any more than 900. Thanks.
So, Laura, I believe we're going to end on Polybius.
We will end on Polybius from his Histories, the section on fire signalling. So I would like you to consider sight with this one.
I'll close my eyes.
Please do. You need to concentrate, just a tip. So this is Polybius, the Histories, from Book 10, Fire Signalling. The most recent method, perfected by myself, is quite capable of dispatching with accuracy every kind of urgent message, but requires care and attention. We divide the alphabet into 5 parts, each consisting of 5 letters. There is 1 letter less in the last division, but this makes no practical difference. The 2 people who are about to signal to each other must both have 5 tablets with the same 5 divisions of the alphabet written on them. When one party is ready to send a message, he must get the other's attention by raising 2 torches. The other party signals his readiness to receive the message by raising 2 torches in return. The dispatcher of the message will now use his torches to send the communication. A first set of torches on the left side indicate which tablet is to be consulted, i.e. 1 torch for the first tablet, 2 torches for the second, and so on. A second set of torches raised on the right side indicate what letter of the tablet the receiver should write down, first, second, third, and so on. You get it?
I get it, but who's left and who's right?
Oh, that's a great question. We got the first potential flaw. I'm sure they've got that sorted in the small print. Yeah. So with this method, the signaller is spelling out words using each individual torch signal to indicate a single letter.
Like semaphore?
A little bit like semaphore, yeah. 24 letters in the alphabet, 5 sets of letters. So 1 torch is indicating which of those tablets you need to use, and then the other one is which letter on that tablet do you need. Now, you'll remember at the beginning that Polybius says, capable of dispatching every kind of urgent message. I would challenge as to how quick this could be deployed.
God, you don't want long words.
Well, no, exactly. He does tell us later on in the extract that I haven't included here that you do need to be thrifty with your words. So you need to use as few as possible to get your point across. Otherwise, you're going to be wafting torches around all day. Yeah. And the enemy's going to be on you.
They're coming.
Yeah.
What?
Which direction? So this is very much used in a military setting, but it still seems like it could be a little bit too slow to be effective in the heat of battle.
And what if nobody's looking at that specific moment that you've started waving some torches around?
Yeah, because the first guy needs to say, I want to send a message,
exactly.
And then the other one has to respond. So they've got to be looking.
They've got to be constantly looking.
In the right direction the whole time.
This guy's holding 2 torches up going, come on! Quick!
If that guy's gone off for a little comfort break or getting some beer to warm his trussocks, then...
I don't think that's what beer's for, Laura.
Well...
Maybe he's gone for a ciggy.
Yeah, possible. But anyway, the enemy cavalry could be upon you before he's come
I
back.
could be charging down the hill towards you and he's still holding up 2 torches.
Yeah, I'm really going to challenge the urgent part of this extract because for me it doesn't seem quite practical. A lot of things have to align for it to be working. I mean, imagine a windy day.
Oh, God.
Poor visibility.
Yeah, a foggy day.
Yeah, all of these things could happen. High risk approach anyway, fire. I mean, it could be good for reconnaissance when you've got a little bit more time to play with. Things aren't so time pressured. But again, you need
But it's not very stealthy.
No, it's not very stealthy, is it? I counted that you may need to hold as many as 9 at once.
I haven't got 9 hands, so I don't know about you.
No, unless there's some sort of torch securing or rack method that they've got.
Question though, have you got 9 torches and they lit all the time, or then do you have to light them?
You see, this is another great question because things can go out. Torches and flames can be...
Exactly.
You
You
know,
might run
blown
out
out.
of fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got to keep them alight all day. You probably need someone to do that for you because you've got to be looking in the direction of the other person.
Oh, God, yeah. You can't be scrambling looking at torches.
No. And what if you're struggling to light one?
Yeah.
So there's another job required.
I think this is fraught with errors, quite
Yes.
honestly. Potential for errors. It's fun.
Yeah. There are sources to say that this approach was also used with flags,
Okay.
which is probably a little bit more easy to do.
Not in the dark.
Not in the dark, definitely not in the dark. But at least you haven't got to keep things alight.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? The most recent method perfected by myself, capable of dispatching with accuracy every kind of urgent message.
Oh, bless.
So sorry, Polybius, we've been quite down on you there, but well done. Good effort.
I can think of a better way. Just send a pigeon, no?
Well, apparently that did happen on occasion, but it wasn't very widely used.
Okay.
But Cassius Dio does say that Caesar in the Gallic Wars used a pigeon for something.
Sure. Much more efficient.
And Pliny definitely mentions some bird or pigeon type messengers.
I didn't know they'd been around for that long, but it totally makes sense.
Mm.
I mean, I knew pigeons existed, by the way.
Yeah.
I just didn't know they were used in that capacity.
Sure.
It's time for our new Sistory History Fun Facts segment, where we pick our favourite fact of the episode. And this time around, actually, Laura, I'm going to let you pick your favourite
Oh,
fact.
thanks. It's very kind.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so this time what did we have? We had Cicero dining with messengers. Well, I think that warrants a mention, because that's a little bit unusual, isn't it?
We had my scribe for hire.
Yes.
May I be so bold as to add another fact?
A new entry,
A new
please.
entry. There was a process called the Acta Diurna, which was a daily news posting in the forum, where essentially a public record or a news bulletin was put up on boards to let people read what was going on, or they could have it read aloud. Does that warrant?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that a fun fact?
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favourite one, though, is definitely the scribe for hire.
Ooh, so I win!
You win, yeah.
I win. Fact of the episode.
Well done. Yes, I like that. I like the fact that it's taking into account the less able in society, so it's quite diverse and inclusive.
Yeah, so public scribes, quite often you get letters that say at the bottom of the page, this was written down by, I don't know, Dionysus, because Quintus can't write.
Oh, okay, so it actually gave the explanation.
It gives the explanation. So yeah, it's calling out the fact that they exist. I guess they're also advertising their services in a way.
That's true.
But also it's so that nobody's getting duped, I guess. It's
I
very
see.
clear it's from another hand.
Right, okay, so it's almost validating it in some way.
Yeah, but it's nice that they offered this service where you could go and have a letter read to you if you couldn't read yourself. And actually there's quite a lot of graffiti that says, read me out loud. So it's a similar kind of method, isn't it? Getting information to people who can't necessarily read it themselves.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
So I win.
All right, you said that already.
I win. I'm
Well
just going to
done.
write a letter to my friend Atticus and tell him.
That you're excellent and that you've won.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. We really enjoy you getting in contact, by courier or otherwise, so please let us know which fun fact was your favourite this time. You can find us using our handle @Sistory History on Instagram and Blue Sky, or by dropping an email to sistoryhistory@gmail.com.
In the next episode, we are going to talk about Roman weddings. We hope you can join us for the big day.
Bye.
Bye!